Hello there, I'm Quiet Wyatt, and today I'm going to be showing you my 1980 Hershey Park souvenir map. I've always been fascinated with souvenir maps from theme parks because they're always illustrated and so delightful. I mean, they're just fun to look at. Certainly fun as far as maps go. And this one is no exception. I'm particularly fascinated with Hershey Park souvenir maps because as a child I would go there quite often. I was lucky enough to do so. If you're not familiar, Hershey Park is a theme park located in Hershey, Pennsylvania, themed around the Hershey Chocolate Company, which may be obvious to some. This got started in the early 1900s as a resort for employees and their families of the Hershey Chocolate Company. And of course, it just continued to grow throughout the decades and through that century. And it's still in operation today, though it is remarkably different than what is pictured in this map, and certainly what my childhood memory recalls. But things change, and that's okay. And I'm afraid you'll have to forgive the lighting in this video. I just could not get the reflection out of there. See, this is framed, as you can tell, and of course that does pose some problems for the light reflecting off of it. But it's okay. We'll just do this au naturel. You can still see the map, and well, that's the point of this, isn't it? Hershey Park went through a variety of different taglines. This one says, "Only the name is tame," quite clever. Of course, anything that rhymes is quite clever. And I'm always interested to see who makes these maps, and let's see if there's any kind of label here. No, it's just a trademark notification. Oh well, that's fine. Here you can see here the Hershey's Chocolate World. That is a little tour ride. You can see how the chocolate is made and all that. It was always very interesting as a child. That's the one thing you, of course, went to first, and filled with little animatronics and miniature models of all the processes of chocolate manufacturing. And it was a lot of fun. Of course, it's very different now, but yes, right there you'll see what was known as Tudor Square. This was the first thing you came across after you left the chocolate factory ride and went into the park. It was a variety of different shops and restaurants, all themed. All of them had a Bavarian theme as far as the building facades went. Now, it's unfortunate that that is no longer there, and of course, changed like everything else did. And there's something interesting, something I have no memory of. Right across the creek there is what was called Creekside Catering, and it's just appears to be nothing more than a circus tent. I don't know what it was. I'm guessing it was some kind of food service. But anyway, Tudor Square, that would go into Rhineland, which again still had the Bavarian theme, and that's where all the first grouping of rides were kept. And that gave way to what was known as the Carousel Circle, which housed a tremendous carousel, which was the focal point. And then there was also a big double Ferris wheel type ride that Hershey Park was very famous for many years, and they had recently retired it and taken it down, so it's no longer there. Again, change is pretty much everywhere. Oh well, nowadays Hershey Park has many roller coasters. If you're a coaster enthusiast, they have plenty of them. But back in this time, they really only had two major roller coasters, the Comet and then the Super Duper Looper, which I believe was opened in 1977. I'm not too entirely sure about that, but that would mean it was very new when this map was produced. As you can see, there's a variety of different rides scattered all throughout, and it's interesting because basically none of these rides are there today. I believe some of them are. I haven't been here in a very long time, but I've heard that it's pretty much entirely different. The Dry Gulch train ride, that was always very fun. There's the Dolphin Amphitheater or Aqua Theater rather. It was Hershey Park just had a lot of different things to do. And of course, that's still the case. I'm just far too old to enjoy a theme park as I used to, and that's life. Hershey Park had a number of restaurants. There's Minetown Vittles right next to the arcade. Also, a lot of arcades. There's a better look at the Super Duper Looper. And here is one of my favorite rides, the Coal Cracker, a flume ride. That was always a popular attraction when I was a child. Let's see, the Tower Plaza, that was the home of the famous Kissing Tower, just a giant tower that dominates the horizon when you're approaching Hershey Park. It was no more than just a tower you get in and in this capsule and you go up and you see the whole park. It's nice. It doesn't drop down real fast or anything. It's very nice. The Himalaya, another favorite ride of mine when I was a child. There's a better look at Dry Gulch Run. It was like a haunted train ride sort of thing. Very, very fun. That little tiny roller coaster was called the Trailbreaker, or Trailblazer rather. Very fun roller coaster, little mini roller coaster sort of thing. And then, of course, we have Zoo America. This was an added attraction in the late 70s, I believe. It's a huge zoo, very nice zoo. And what it does, given the name, it details all of the animals that are found in the continental United States. I'm not sure if it's just North America or Central and South America as well, but there are many different parts of the zoo that represents many of the different habitats that many of the creatures that dwell within this country or, the United States do. The United States or perhaps it's all the Americas. Again, I'm not sure. All I know is it's a very nice zoo. It certainly was a very nice attraction and addition to Hershey Park. Hershey Park, it was a very fun place for me as a child. We lived relatively close to it. It compared to any other major attraction place, it was a nice place to go because it was, rather close. Closer than a lot of other things, and my family would go sometimes twice a summer. If I felt very fortunate to do that. I know we would always go at least once every summer when I was growing up, so I felt very blessed to be able to do that, and lots of fond memories, about this place, and I'm glad it's still in operation, but I am a little disappointed that it's almost entirely different than what this map shows and what my childhood memories recall. But again, you can't stop change really as much as you'd want to. They certainly wanted to appeal to a new hip crowd to stay relevant in the ever-changing landscape of the theme park world. They added a lot more extreme rides to make it more exciting. Because I guess on its face, a theme park based on chocolate perhaps isn't all that exciting. And that's interesting because, Hershey Park, at its very foundation, really had nothing to do with chocolate. There weren't roller coasters that were chocolate bars or anything like that, or bumper cars that were Hershey Kisses or Reese Cups. That's actually a pretty decent idea. I'm surprised they didn't really go with that. But no, it's just your basic rides. And it still is. Now, of course, I think they are more candy-based than they were back then. So that's interesting. As far as I know, the zoo is still there. And you can actually visit the zoo without paying admission to the entire park. So that's neat. It's almost like two attractions in one. So, yes, Hershey Park. Always been a fascinating place, though my interest in going there nowadays is well, it isn't there at all. I'm happy to have the memories I do with it, and I'm very happy and I feel very blessed that I was able to go as many times as I did as a child. Well, that about does it. Thank you very much for coming along with me on my first excursion into ASMR. I've always been a fan of, I guess you can call it an art. I'm not sure, but it's always nice to just listen to a video and puts you right to sleep. So hopefully that worked for you, and perhaps you're not hearing what I'm saying right now, and hopefully you're fast asleep, having pleasant dreams, and very comfortable. And I hope you, if you're not asleep, I hope this video at least relaxed you to some extent. Perhaps you're going through a lot of stress in your life right now. I can't really do anything about that, but I can at least help you relax a little bit. Well, that's the hope. And I hope it worked. And I thank you very much for joining me. And I encourage you to hit subscribe. I'm trying to grow this channel the best I can. And I will have more content as the time elapses. So definitely hit subscribe, and I hope you have pleasant dreams, and I hope you can get to sleep soon if you're not asleep already. So thank you again, and good night.